Hello everyone, I'm Preetham Pratipati from JNTU HCEM. I'm currently a CSE major in my university. So I work under Dr. Chiranjeev Vera, who is at speech processing lab. So today I'm going to talk about my project, which is Prosody Analysis on target speech. So let's get into it. So what is prosody? Prosody is the study of elements of speech that are not individual phonetic segments. Like see, we have these vowels and consonants, and each vowels and consonants have their individual phonetic segments, as you can see in the above slide. And which are the properties of syllables and larger units of speech, including linguistic functions such as intonation, stress, and rhythm. So what prosody is overall is the study of intonation, stress, rhythm, and other linguistic functions of any element, any speech. So let's proceed. So let's take an example. See the sentence here. We are saying here, let's eat grandma. So it implies that we are inviting our grandma to eat. Now let's see another slide. Let's eat grandma. The change of the punctuation changes the meaning of the whole sentence. See, this thing implies that we are going to eat the grandma. So which is not advisable. So see, intonation plays an important part in the sentences. See, we say here, let's eat grandma. Like we are inviting our grandma to eat. But here we are saying, let's eat grandma. So the intonation makes a lot of difference in the meaning. So that's what we are going to explore in our analysis. See, the differences from the first sentence is let's eat. The comma mentioned a pause. Means let you and I commence eating. Like grandma being the second person and pluralized let's. In the second sentence, let's eat grandma implies that the plural of the verb is intended to cannibalize one's grandmother, and it is sure to alienate family and friends, obviously. And this emphasizes the importance of prosody. So delving into my progress, to perform the prosody analysis, I took a real-world dataset which also contains an audio samples from different movies. I used Python libraries such as Librosa, PyDub, and many more to chop the samples and extract the energy of the chopped samples, so that I can find the samples which are devoid of any noise and disturbances. So I used a TensorFlow-based tool called Splitter to isolate voice and noise data from the chopped samples and applied energy analysis on the noise. By doing this, I can find out samples which have very little to no noise, thus successfully segregating all the vocals and noise. So what I ultimately need to do is segregate the vocals and noise from the real world data, which are movie samples. So until now, my progress is I took all the movie audio samples and I plotted energy versus density, a number of samples per each histogram bin for chopped audio samples. It involves calculating the energy of each segment and determining the concentration of energy values within a specific range. And by dividing the energy values into bins or intervals in the histogram, the density of energy within each range can be assessed. This analysis helps us to visualize the relationship between energy and density in the audio samples. And I got a plot which is the resultant plot, which displays a distribution that reveals patterns, clusters, and regions of interest based on energy density. It offers insights into the dynamics and variations within the audio signal, aiding in the identification of significant sections or events. So the splitter module which I talked about is a fast and efficient music source separation tool, which is based on TensorFlow. Splitter, Deezer is a popular deep learning library which offers us many tools like Splitter. Splitter is the Deezer source separation library with pre-trained models written in Python and use TensorFlow. And it makes it easy to train music source separation models, assuming that you have a data set of isolated sources, and provides already trained state-of-art models and for performing various flavors of separation. You can see it was I mentioned it in the reference too, about Splitter. There is a research paper. And I told you I plotted some energy versus density. So these are the energy plots I got on a movie audio sample. See, the first plot is a Gaussian plot which focuses on only vocals. I passed only vocals through the splitter. That only vocals is segregated into voice and music again. So that's the first plot. And the second plot is only music passed through the splitter. And it again has voice and music. See, you can observe that voice part of the only vocals is high in the first thing. And in the second thing, music part of the vocal is high. So this implies that there's a little voice in the music part and there's little music in the vocal part. And this is like vocal plus music. They all together run through the splitter, and you can see the vocal plus music part. Moving further, like the latter plots are known as like these are like kernel density KDE plots, kernel density estimation plots, which are like in Gaussian in nature. We don't need Gaussian plots too, because Gaussian plots assume values, like it assumes a distribution which are like lacking in the distribution. So we are like, to get an ideal plot, we need to opt for histograms with optimal bins to depict our distribution. So I mentioned a reference which discusses about Gaussian plots, like why we don't need them for our research. So these are like the ideal plot which we are aiming for, like a histogram with bin edges traced. It gives us like information about number of bins and what samples are residing in the bins. And this plot, see the yellow region here. Yellow region is like the music part of the voice, and these are like the vocal part of the voice passed through the splitter. And the same plots, histogram plots, are plotted for the movie Antimatter. Like there's a movie called Antimatter. I took the audio sample and I plotted 4 plots. First plot is for only vocals passed through the splitter. This is like only music passed through the splitter. This is vocal plus music passed through the splitter. And I only took the music part of vocal and music part of vocal plus music and passed it again through the splitter. It's just a music part of vocal plus music and music part of music. Vocal, sorry. So these two combined is this plot to show how music ranges in the normal vocal plus music and the only vocal part. Like it is to see if the separation is going well or not for the audio samples. The whole purpose is for that. And the 4 histograms represent vocal versus music of only voice, vocal versus music of only music, vocal versus music of voice plus music together, and music part of only voice versus music part of voice plus music respectively. And these plots give us an overview of audio energies which are isolated, which are overlapping, and to which extent the separation is successful. The bins are adjusted manually according to the number of samples present in the distribution. These plots are also used on the other movie samples too. There are like 5 other movies which I have applied to. Like these plots are plotted for those movie samples too simultaneously. And this is like the current checkpoint in which I did until now. And these are like the plots for other movie audio samples. You can see them. This is for the movie Renegade. This is for the like news audio sample I took. This is from the movie Jungle Book from 1996, and this is from Immortal Wars. Like these are all the 4 plots which I described earlier for each movie. There are 4 more movies. Summary. The data which we have collected is from the real world, and we are currently working in pre-processing stage. So gradually figuring things out. At this point, we are working with English and Hindi audios simultaneously. So what I've plotted is like for the only English part. And we have the transcript study, like the SRT files. In order to precisely understand the meaning of each audio sample, we take each audio sample and we work with it. And by analyzing the words only voice part, and we follow the transcript, and we apply further machine learning algorithms like dynamic time warping and tachytron maybe to help us map the speech and transcription part. So like our current focus is on analyzing how effectively we can isolate the vocals from the audio, ensuring that there is no interference during subsequent analysis. And this is the progress I have made so far by analyzing the energies of audio samples and plotting them for further analysis and progress. Like these are the references I mentioned about. First reference is like about Prosody. Second is a research paper published on splitter. And third is like why does kernel density estimation give us like negative values? Like why does it assume other data which is not there? In short, like this is where I have come from, like I have completed until now. So in short, our end goal is to convert monotonic speech into natural human speech. So we are aiming for it. So to do that, I need to go further into this. So I talked with my supervisor and extended my time to do this. So I'll be further working on this in the later months. And this is all for now. Thank you everyone. And I'm Pritham from Speech Processing Lab.